The Hong Kong SAR government is now holding talks with the student protesters participating in the Occupy Central movement. The meeting is being held at the Hong Kong Academy of Medicine. It's the first time the two sides have exchanged views face to face and discussed Hong Kong's constitutional reforms. Let's have a listen to what they say.
Police resorted to force to resolve a political issue. No, it's not going to happen. And since the situation has changed in Hong Kong, the government has the constitutional duty to perform. The NPCSC laid down the framework on the 31st of August. But now the current public sentiment is that abolishing the functional constituencies is a matter of urgency, and then there should be equal nominating rights. So shouldn't the government consider ways so that for the nominating method and for the restructuring of the LegCo, they could fall within the framework of the NPCSC? Now, we talk about balanced participation. 2 years ago, there was the chief executive election. There was this competition between the Tang camp and the Leung camp. All Hong Kong people were just outsiders. And as outsiders, I'm sure you know what it's like in the past months or two. You know, like at that time, Hong Kong people were not able to get involved at all in this election, just like you now, Chief Secretary, you are just a bystander in this whole case. Now, C.Y. Leung secured 689 votes. Hong Kong people never nominated him nor elected him. So this was the election committee. Now it's going to be turned into a nominating committee. Would that just be anointment by the country, or would Hong Kong people could actually play a part in the entire political system? I think for people now in the Occupy movement, they have a lot of doubts. That's why they took to the street. Just now you mentioned public opinion. In June, there was a referendum in the community. There was electronic voting. 800,000 people took part. Many believe that a civic nomination or nomination by political parties should be the way forward. For Hong Kong, it was made very clear. At that time, the government said there were many constitutional provisions that limited the powers of the SL government. So what sort of vision are we projecting? What sort of values in society are we advancing? I think we could all see that for ourselves. We can all see whether we're moving towards a more equal and open development, or are we taking retrogressive steps? Now, especially when we talk about the 4 sectors for the nominating committee. You know, in Hong Kong, we've always asked for the abolition of the functional constituencies in the Legislative Council. The functional constituencies are like the 4 sectors in the nominating committee. They are one and the same. So why must we abolish functional constituencies? Why must we keep the 4 sectors in the nominating committee? I think the government should come up with a proposal to resolve all these matters. If the SL government could respond to the immediately go home. But other than that, what solutions do you have to resolve these matters? I think this meeting is being followed by everyone in Hong Kong. Now, there's been over a month of resistance. What is your view on the position, officials, please? Yes, from the government, please. We heard several students make this point. Now, it seems that their argument is based on this. That is, the views you represent are the views on constitutional development on Hong Kong. But as I said, constitutional development is a complex and sensitive issue. There is a plethora of views on the matter. So we can't say there is just one single view on the matter. So based on this one single view, the government must do something, and the NPCSC must amend its decisions. It's like what Alex just mentioned. After the consultation period, it's true, on the 22nd of June, there was the so-called referendum, but not long after, there was also a signature campaign with over 1 million signatures coming up with a different view. So that's the uniqueness of Hong Kong. On such an important issue, where there is always a diverse body of views. Now, in the report submitted by the Chief Executive, or in the consultation report we submitted to the Chief Executive, we never try to cover up the different views, especially on views like the civic nomination or the free track proposal. We've included all these views in the report submitted to the NPCSC. The NPCSC is coming at a decision, as you mentioned, that is within the framework. There are 3 core elements. Now, on this, the NPCSC has made a clear point. It's exactly because the NPCSC has seen that there is not unified view on these core issues. There have been divergent views. And so that's why, as step 2 of the process, in making a decision, the NPCSC would like to lay down a framework so that for the next stage, within this specific framework, we could then try to forge a consensus and narrow the differences. And then we could achieve the objective of achieving universal suffrage in 2017 for this election. So we cannot accept your allegation that we have submitted a misleading report to the NPCSC, so the NPCSC then made this decision. The NPCSC is fully aware of the divergent views in Hong Kong on the matter. And this understanding or the knowledge of this not just based on the report submitted by the Chief Executive or our consultation report, because the NPCSC has been listening to views from different sectors. During the consultation period and after it ended, the SAR government worked very hard. As you said, we performed our duty to arrange meetings with different groups, so different groups could then put forward their views directly, say on abolishing functional constituencies or a more democratic nominating method. So we arranged these opportunities for people to directly give their views to senior officials of the central authorities in charge of the matter. For example, the Chief Executive arranged for a visit to Shanghai in April, so LegCo members could give their views. In particular, there was a session for pan-democratic members to meet with Chinese officials. And then there was a meeting we arranged for pan-democratic members to meet with Mr. Zhang Xiaoming. And then in Shenzhen, we also arranged meetings with Mr. Li Fei. Mr. Li Fei had a meeting with LegCo members. There was a specific session just for the pan-democratic camp. So we certainly did not cover up the different views, but rather we created many opportunities for the country's officials in charge of constitutional development to listen to the views directly. But after they've heard the views, they have to consider the different situations of the country on such an important matter before they come to a decision. So we do not agree to the basis of your argument. That is, we do not agree we have submitted a misleading report. Therefore, there is no question of submitting another report to the NPCSC, hoping then the NPCSC would amend its decisions made on the 31st of August. But of course, I have to admit